time, getting to know the person behind the name.
First off, can you just tell us a bit about yourself? Where you from? Where you grew up? Yeah.
My name is Gerald Modabi. I grew up in Soweto, in a small town called Shawela. And I went to school in Putarshaka Primary School and off to Sparrow, where I graduated to the Sports School of Excellence at Esland Park. That's where it all started.
So, how long was there a specific program that you went through? Just talk to us about the School of Excellence a bit.
No, it was basically a normal school where we did normal studies like other kids would, but it was interrupted because we had to involve football in all the other activities that went on with our education on the side.
And where do you think soccer started for you?
No, maybe I'd like to think ever since I was born, because I'd never seen myself holding a mic on my hand like you're doing or working at an office. I just didn't know it was going to come as soon as 16 in my life. I'd actually hoped maybe at 21 or so. But fortunately for me, when I was doing my matric, I turned professional as well.
But how do you balance everything out? Make sure that you have time to do the social work. Make sure you have time to practice and always be on time. And, also spending time with people at home.
I'd like to differ from other professionals that would say they try and balance it. It never works. It's either you take one, you leave one aside. Like, there's no way you can juggle a relationship, a successful one for that matter, football, social life, and your professional life. As I said, football. So in a way, it needs a whole lot of time management, which at most times it's highly impossible for you to. So it's a matter of you going with the flow. If you get 2 hours to spend with your mom and dad, so be it. If you get 2 hours to be with your friends that you grew up with, you take the 2 hours. So basically it's a case of, if I find myself in Soweto and my boys are there, I'd blow with them nicely like that.
What inspires you in your life? What is it that motivates you to get up every day and live your life?
No, like a whole lot of things inspire me as a person. First of all, South Africa inspires me because we have lovely personalities, and we have people that comes from different backgrounds, and seeing all of it happen at once. Like, you could be driving past Basonia and you could see a person driving in his convertible and moving on to Soweto, seeing two people fighting over nothing. It's the reason we're in South Africa. Everything happens here, and it's inspiring to be a big part of all that.
Just about what you're saying in terms of inspired to be in South Africa, like, a lot of players see themselves as having reached their success when they've left and have played for a foreign country. How do you feel about that?
I feel, obviously, I'd love to go to Europe as well because it's lucrative, but there's a whole lot of money involved in South African football these days. For example, when you play for a club like Orlando Pirates and all the other big clubs that obviously I can't mention their names, I think you can make even more money playing in South Africa than some other countries in Europe, where as players were rushed to go off to those countries, and there isn't really much in those countries for your development as a footballer, and there's just money.
And how much of one's career is still about passion? Be it you personally or maybe other people that you know. How many soccer players still play for the passion of loving the game? Or is it just a job?
Maybe out of 1,000, there's 2 players that would play for passion. But I feel like you doing your job, you'd expect to be paid at the end of it all. And like footballers, if I dropped out of school and matric to be a professional, I'd need to show something for it when my career is up, and that way I'd feel I need to be paid what I actually deserve. And that's why I feel, as much as you might have all the passion, you still need to get paid for that passion.
Could you just tell us what has been your highlight in your career?
Yeah, my highlight would obviously having joined one of the biggest clubs in Africa, which is Orlando Pirates. But I think I should mention where it all started, at Dynamos, where I got to be given a chance of playing 30 games back to back. And there's no greater feeling as a footballer like having to know when you leave your house that I'm going to be playing over the weekend. And that's where they saw me. And I think playing for Dynamos and eventually joining Pirates as a result of the matches I played for them.
How difficult is it, or maybe easy, when you join a big team like Pirates and there's players, there's like, people who've played for the team for so long, and here you come and trying to make your mark as well. How do you work about doing that?
I think it's about how strong you are, how strong-willed you are as a person, mentally and physically. Because first of all, with footballers and especially at big clubs, you have big egos to deal with. And like myself, coming from a small club, it's always one of the obstacles you have to come up against. But I fortunately was in a situation where I grew up with most of the guys that are playing for Pirates in Soweto before I left off to join Dynamos. So the adjustment wasn't too difficult to make.
And what bit of advice would you give to other young guys who would love to one day play for a big team like Pirates as well?
No, I think before I give them the advice of what they should do before they join a big club like Orlando Pirates, it's important for them to go to school and make sure that they have something to fall back on when their careers are finished. Because not all of us are going to be Kwaito stars and soccer stars. So it's about prioritizing. And on your question of how I think they should gear themselves up, it's just being serious wherever they are right now, rather than focusing on the actual part of joining Pirates. Then I think first step is done. Then the second step, they must just let nature take its course. They must just land themselves at a big club like Orlando Pirates or any other big club for that matter.
Well, that's it from us and our star Gerald today. I hope you all had a lot of fun. I know I did and got to show off some of my skills as well. Anyway, I'll see all of you next week. Bye.